Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, January 20th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about the tool of technical analysis and how it can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to the watch list real quick, I do want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering on Thursday. So if you're liking what you see as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can be used, how it should be used, and why it's powerful in building consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, then there's an area right there on the webpage you can click on to get signed up. So like I said, if you're liking what you see and you want to learn more, then certainly get signed up for the free class. A couple of quick clarifications before I get to the stocks. First off, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame. So if you're a beginner to charts, all that means is that each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. And then next, the market is still open for a few moments. So that candlestick right there, the final one, will be moving around on the various stocks. But I like to do these when the markets are still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting price action live. But it's also close enough to being done for the day where the levels and such that I talk about will still be relevant as we head into Thursday. So first stock here, ticker symbol BBIG. Have done this in the following or the past top 10 list. And overall, it's a difficult chart to talk about because of perspective. So from a presentation standpoint, like I said, there's a little bit of a challenge to it. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that line because if you are some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought, right there, maybe this morning, maybe you bought yesterday up there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 5 minutes, well then yeah, from that angle, the chart looks really, really bad because there was a larger pullback today. However, if you care about things from the big picture point of view, even with the big pullback, the chart still has plenty of opportunity to build higher bases. And to illustrate that, let's look at the low right there. Then look at that low, and then that low, and then that low, and then that low. And if you envision each of those as stair steps, what do you have? Again, emphasis on the big picture. Well, from the big picture point of view, you still very clearly have stair steps making progress in the upwards direction. And that's, why I would say that from an overall arching standpoint, even with the bigger pullback, everything is still perfectly fine. Now, as far as, levels that have now really revealed themselves as being stubborn and annoying, definitely going to be all about that resistance trend line right there. So to give some credit where credit's due, late day today, there was a nice bounce in the upwards direction, but now the question just becomes, can this bounce continue on up and get up to that trend line and then break through it? A very good question to be wondering about and asking, and a lot of people are. So, there's going to be that self-fulfilling prophecy attribute where if the price does break through there, you got to think there's a legitimate chance that that could create momentum in and of itself. But overall, like I said, assuming you do care about the big picture point of view, even with the bigger pullback, the trend is still in the bull's favor. Next one, VVOS. I like this one because of the good solid pattern here. And going back to the previous stock, BBIG, there is that self-fulfilling prophecy, attribute where the pattern I'm about to draw, I assure you a lot of people are watching the same exact pattern, wondering the same exact things. So while that doesn't guarantee anything, it does make a couple of conclusions, at least valid and logical. So let's get this pattern drawn up first. So top part of the pattern, we have this resistance trend line right here. Bottom part of the channel, bottom part of the pattern, we have that support area right there. Let me change that to green to represent the bullish dynamic of things. And then to make this all one color, maybe a little bit easier to see. So again, we have the resistance there. We have the support there. We have the big momentum move right there. Let's put the golf hole down here to make this more visual. So this would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So if you do like bull pennants, and if you like this price range down below $5, then a very, very nice setup here. Very, very interesting setup. And, really it's just tomorrow. Can this, get the move back up to the top of that pattern? If it can, then you got to think that there's going to be people buying, well, just because it's a breakout of the pattern. Again, to reiterate, that's not guaranteed to happen, but is at least a plausible thought process to have. Next one, AMC. And overall, a pretty neutral day, but I will say neutral is much better than what's been going on. And what's been going on, as I'm sure, many realize, is just new lows, new lows, new lows, new lows. But today there weren't any new lows. In fact, there was actually a slight little uptrend that was built. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that line there. Now, don't get me wrong, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because I can draw this uptrending trend line does not mean that, okay, for sure this is the bottom, for sure this is the reversal. No, it's without doubt a step in the right direction. But just because you can get a little bit of a trend line here doesn't guarantee any sort of bottom. But like I said, it is certainly a step in the right direction. And while there weren't any explosive moves today, like I said, it's much better than having the price put in new lows, or even, technically speaking, it's better than even the price going sideways, because technically the price didn't even go sideways. It had a slight upward slope to it. So pointer being the ideal level of support that you would want to see hold strong moving forward is going to be that trend line right there. If that level does not quite hold up, then the next must-hold level down there at 1780, which is just simply where the bleeding stopped from back there on Tuesday. So those will be the main areas of support. As far as areas of resistance are now concerned, in my mind, all about the purple line right there. The very well-known, the very famous 50-period moving average, currently valid on this one. We'll just call it at $19.75. So like I said, overall, not an explosive day, but a slightly bullish day with that uptrend line being in place. So let's see if the price can now respect that trend line and continue to stay above it. Next one, SOFI. Want to do this one for one reason, and one reason, probably more than one reason, but the main reason I should say I want to do this is the ability to draw that line right there. So we're going back to that whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecy. I assure you, in fact, let me squeeze this down, because when I bring this line over even more, it makes that much more sense. But I assure you, a bunch of people have noticed that right here at $14.40 today, yes, twice, but looking back in the history of things, oh, rejection. Oh, look, another rejection. So everybody and their brother's uncle, especially those breakout players, are going to be watching that level and wondering, can the price actually break above that area? And if it does, as I've said, does not guarantee anything, but is it at least a plausible thought to have that a break of that could create a whole bunch of self-fulfilling prophecy, people buying because it's, well, a key breakout? Yeah, absolutely. So 1440 is going to be a very, very key level. And, as I speak here, the price is pulling back this afternoon. But if this can pull back up and, work its way up to that 1440 mark, that is going to be a highly, highly watched mark. So, yeah, SOFI, 1440. Everybody and their brother's uncle is going to be watching that level. Next one, SBEV. And like the previous one, BBIG, a little challenging to talk about from a presentation standpoint because there's perspectives. So really quickly, again, if you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, you bought right there this morning, your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes. Well, then, yeah, from that point of view, the chart looks absolutely terrible because there was this bigger pullback. But from the grand scheme of things, if we look at the lows, you can see that overall, these lows have gotten higher and higher. You envision those as stair steps. And overall, everything is still trending upwards. You still have those higher bases being put into play. But you combine all that with the fact that we have another, let's just call it a self-fulfilling prophecy level right there. Look at that. $4.55. There's going to be all sorts of people watching it, and rightfully so, thinking, okay, this is clearly the consolidation right now. But at what point can you start to think that maybe the consolidation is over? Well, right there, if it can break up through that level, which it's clearly struggled at before. So keep a close eye on 450. That'll be a very interesting, breakout point. If you like to play more so pullbacks, then a pullback area that stands out to me would be down here around the $3.50 mark. But again, that's just a matter of preference, matter of strategy. But if you are somebody that likes to play breakouts, then I think a whole lot of people are going to be watching 455. Next one here, Ford, ticker symbol F, and very, very nasty move today. Not necessarily because the price, was down so much, but more so from a technical point of view. Price came down to that pink line there, which is the very, very well-known, very, very famous 200-period moving average. Price came down to there, and not only broke below that level, but just kept on bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. So a very big technical event here with the break of that 200-period moving average, which is now putting some very interesting levels back into play here. And first level here, right at $22.40, which is the low from this big old gap up back here. And you can see that's essentially right where the price is consolidating right now. So going into tomorrow, you're going to have longs and shorts and everybody in between watching that level and wondering what exactly is going to happen. The shorts are going to be watching and saying, you know what? If that thing breaks, I want to get short. I want to buy a put. But rightfully so, and logically so, there's also going to be long saying, well, it's bounced off that level before. I think the price might be able to bounce. So one of those situations where somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong, and at the core, why risk management matters so much. But the moral of the story here from this point of view is that 2240 going to be one of those highly watched levels. If 2240 cannot quite hold up, then at that point, while gaps do not have to close, you don't have anything, support-wise until down there around 2185. So you want to watch that as that main area of support. If there are any attempted bounces back to the upside, then the main level is going to be that 200-period moving average, and that's just based on a foundational principle in charts, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So if there is any sort of attempted bounce back in the upwards direction, right there at 2325 will be that first key level of resistance. Next one, GMVD. I haven't seen this one talked about a whole lot. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I've just missed it. But talk about a great uptrend here. And today, volume got even stronger. Nice move up. And then we have ourselves a nice pattern. So just keep in mind that this pattern is very clearly occurring within an overall uptrend. So main part of the pattern right here, this resistance level right at $6.40. And then we have the support part of the pattern right there. So again, Change that to green to represent more so the bullish dynamic, the support area of it. And let's just make this all the same color here. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have our momentum move right there. And, you know, this would be a bull flag, bull pennant, however you want to call it. But the idea here is that there's this bullish pattern occurring within an overall bullish environment. And once again, if you like this price range down below $10, this is one that should be on your watch list, right? I mean, if you like bullish patterns in bullish context, you know, bullish trends, and you like this price range, then, you know, I don't know why you wouldn't at least put this one on your watch list. Next one, PIXY, very nice move today. And you can see just, you know, volume came pouring in and the price reacted very nicely. But the interesting dynamic here is at least there's been a pullback right here. And I say that because if you're someone that's always wondering, like myself, I don't know, am I going to be that guy? Am I going to be the sucker that buys the top? You know, am I suffering from FOMO right now? Fear of missing out? Am I chasing the price? A very, very valid concern. But at that point, no longer a concern because the price has pulled back. The people that were suffering from FOMO, you know, the suckers that bought the top, well, that was up there. Now, just because the price is pulled back doesn't mean that for sure it's going to turn into a winning trade. My core point is that it's at least that one part has been eliminated of, I don't know, am I going to be the person that buys the top? No, you're not going to be the person. So if you do like to play these sorts of situations where you get big volume, you get big momentum, and then you get a bit of a pullback here, and especially if you like this price range down below $2, then again, that would be one of these where it's setting up exactly like that. So if you're someone that's super, super paranoid against, am I buying the top? Well, you won't have that paranoia in this one, given that the price has already pulled back here a little bit. But it is, again, a pullback within an overall strong momentum move. Next one, GMDA, and love this one for, once more, the, you know, self-fulfilling prophecy attributes of things. But what a beautiful pattern. So we have the resistance right there. We have the support down there, and I know you're finishing my sentences at this point in time, but let's change this to green to represent the bullishness. And then let's make this, say it with me, all the same color. So we have resistance, we have support, we have the momentum move right there. If you want to put the golf hole down there, we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern and a very good looking bull pennant pattern. So if you like this price range down below $5, if you like to play bull pennant patterns, well then here you go. Very nice setup here. Not just a situation of, is this the start of something much bigger? Is there going to be more continuation up through the pattern? Let's see how the next couple of days play out. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and a very, very rough day here on Tesla. In fact, as I speak, you can see that the last 30 minutes, the price actually broke down below that green support line right there at the $1,000 mark. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of there. And actually, I'm just going to adjust this level down because the next level of support that seems to be very, very possible now is going to be down here around the 980 mark. And that's just these lows from back here in early January. Now, it is Tesla, so to be fair, maybe this breakdown here that's occurring is just going to be a little fake out, and the bulls are going to say, hey, just kidding, and then bounce back upwards. That is certainly, always a possibility, but it's also, you got to respect the fact that a lot of downwards momentum has shown up. I mean, you have these lower highs that keep getting lower and lower. You have the 50-period moving average, which is now very clearly rolled back over, going in the downwards direction. So like I said, I'm not saying this can't bounce. I'm just saying, you got to be careful if you're thinking about playing things from the long side because you would be going against the trend. And while that can work, and that can work in very big ways, if you're not disciplined, it can be a very, very painful situation. So just keep that in mind, moving forward with 980 as that next level of support. And then as far as areas of resistance, I know I've said this before in past videos, but I'll continue to say it because nothing has changed. In my mind, at least, the main area of resistance is going to be that purple line there, 50-period moving average. You can see that there's quite a track record now, including from earlier today, of the price, getting up around that area and then ultimately getting rejected by it. But down at 980, one of those levels where, once again, I think you're going to have longs and shorts and everybody in between watching that area and wondering what exactly is going to happen if 980 gets tested. But yeah, a lot of downwards momentum right now. Bears seem to be, maintaining their control that they've had. But I'm not going to say total control because the price is still above 980. But like I said, I think that level's got a good chance of being tested here over the next couple of days. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, you want to learn more about this tool, how it can be used, how it should be used, and why it is just so powerful in terms of helping to build consistency as a trader, then get signed up for the class. Like I said, it'll be Thursday, January 20th. at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then as far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make these sorts of videos, then please help me out with some basic communication. Hit the like button, leave a simple comment, say hi, let me know what you traded today, give me a smiley face. But hitting the like button, leaving a simple comment, go a long, long way in communicating to me that you enjoy this format. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I'll continue to do videos like this. So again, if you want to learn more about the tool and how to use it to build consistency as a trader, definitely get signed up for the free class. Everybody take care. Have a good one.